Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to the review of both the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra DLCs. Now you'll notice that I've got the footage paused and we're basically going to be watching this in the media player, and you can see my mouse because there'll be points where I'm like, oh, you could have put something here or something here, and rather than like editing in all the arrows, we can just use the mouse and say like, oh look, you could have edited something like where this tree is. But you'll see as we go in, because it really does stem to show just how bad the DLC really is. I'm just going to leave it on mute as well. Maybe I'll put some music over it, maybe I won't. But like it really this one really doesn't hide just how lazy they have become. First of all, we start the Crown Tundra the same way we start the Isle of Armor, where the second we get out of the train station into the DLC area, we get a battle with what is going to be the star of the story for the foreseeable future. And like the Isle of Armor, the entire region, the entire DLC has not been scaled to a Grandmaster champion style level. Like, I had a couple of people saying, you know, oh, well, if you bought all this, let's say you bought this today, okay? You'd beat the champion, you'd be about 60, and it's like, that's why when they did Isle of Armor, the Pokemon were at 60, because you've only just beat the champion, you know, if you bought it today, and it's like, okay, fair enough. But by the time you finish the Isle of Armor, you do all the stuff with Cub Fu and all the stuff around the Isle of Armor, especially with all the raids, you're gonna be level 100, and they only knocked it up 10 levels at best to 70. So if you bought Sword and Shield at its launch day and you've been doing nothing but the raids to find the Gigantamax Pokemon, you'll have got a lot of XP candies and everything's gonna be level 100. So you're just Thanos snap everything into oblivion. So there's no challenge. Moving to the story, the Crown Tundra is even more lackluster than the Isle of Armor. You know, the Isle of Armor had somewhat of a story. You go train Cub Fu, and it lasted maybe about 3 hours, because you had to train him up, you had to do the dojos, you had to follow the trials. Here the story lasts about an hour at best. Like it's 30, if we're including this into the season pass, $30 for 1 hour is like nothing. It's just nothing. And then, all the characters are flat and generic. At one point, there is a mayor, and he is just called Mayor. Like, they don't even give him a name. He is just Mayor now, and, we're getting a couple of evolutions because I transferred all the stuff from home. Which, by the way, still can't get all your Pokemon out of Pokemon Home. If you like Seviper, Spyro likes Seviper. If you like Seviper, then you can go fuck yourself. You haven't paid enough ransom money yet. They added a couple of new ones, like they added another batch of 200. But if we are to assume that this is the last DLC, well, you better keep paying that ransom money till the next generation, and maybe then you can get Seviper. So yeah, that whole controversy is still going on. But yeah, at one point there is just a mayor called Mayor, and like, he is Mayor. I exist now. This is me. I exist, and it's kind of like, you can't name anybody, because if you think of something like Skyrim, okay, or Fallout, I'll say to you, name me some characters from New Vegas, and you'd be able to say, oh, Mr. House Caesar from Caesar's Legion or Fallout 4. You'd say Preston and his gang, Cogsworth. You'd be able to name me some characters. Here, outside of this gentleman, who is not the greatest gentleman, he is very overexcited and he talks like Sonic the Hedgehog, so that's always a good way to get somebody hyped up, is to have someone being like, yeah, chili dogs, Pete, gotta run, do, pumping fists. And there's everybody talking to him, so we all Realm Royale style, we all spawn together as some freakish hybrid of multiple characters. But Yeah, you can name characters, and it's like, if I said to you, name me an NPC from Fallout or Skyrim, just like a shopkeeper, even if you couldn't name the shopkeeper by name, you'll know exactly the ones I'm talking about, because even the shopkeepers were memorable. You know, like Cleo in Good Neighbor, who has that molestia-like tone when she's selling you weapons, where it's like, why don't you come check out my weapons, honey? Or each weapon tested on someone who deserved it. You know, in a very sexual tone. You might not have known her name was Cleo, but you know who I'm on about. Or Bellathor, he's one of the first people you run into. Even if you don't know him by name, when you hear, everything's for sale, my friend, I'd even buy your sister, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Whereas here, there is nothing. Again, outside of Sonic the Hedgehog, who, as we will see when it zooms in, he will have all of his very excited motions and be more happy than he should be. There you go, he is waving and being a very happy man. There he is, doing fist pumps because yeah, feet! Gotta go fast! But then we get into the biggest problem, and it wasn't too much of a problem in Isle of Armor, but it's a huge fucking glaring point in the Crown Tundra. Because with the Isle of Armor, you had, it's set up, at least story-wise, as a training ground for, you know, potential champions and very tough fighters, like the champion Leon was trained on this island. So, you know, there are the training towers littered around the island. There are there's the dojo itself, where the grand old monk, Mr. Mustard, is located. So there is everything. But outside of this one village and these three people, like, this is obviously where you're going to be getting the story missions from, and I use that term very, very lightly, as the story is 90% non-existent. There is literally only about an hour. But aside from that one little village where you'll get your story, welcome to Fallout 76. It is nothing. We are going to go across this entire review on a walking tour of the entirety of the Crown Tundra. We're going to go all the way down to the bottom to the giant cherry tree, and all the way up to the top where the legendary, you know, the box art Pokemon hangs out at the end of the story. So it's like, we're going to go on a walking or a biking tour of this region, top to bottom, and you're going to see there's nothing. And, like, there's a couple of Pokemon knocking around, but aside from that, it's dead. There are no towns, none whatsoever, no NPCs, not a random trainer. And this is where I say, like, you know, with my mouse, hey, you were going along this path, you could have put a trainer right there, you know, just standing next to this thing. You could have put a trainer on this road up here. There's Nidorina, she's also one of my favourite Pokemon. I love Nidorina. We're going down a main road here. You could have put a trainer next to this lake. You could have put one there. There's a Sylveon. You could have put one under this tree. So you see what I mean? Like, we could have put a trainer there, and I might always just occasionally say, hey, you could have put someone there. But there is nothing. There is nobody. So, like, obviously, we have no trainers. So, like, if you wanted to say, oh, you know, I'll go fight somebody, and this is us going up to the poster box Pokemon's lair. So this is like the final, this is where the final part of the story, which I have beat now, by the way. This is where the final part of the story takes place, and it's like, you could have had a trainer here guarding these ruins. You could have had a trainer here. You could have had a trainer, or loads of trainers, all the way up this path, all the way to the legendaries area, being like, hey, you're not ready to fight this guy. You're not here because you're a little pussy. You haven't earned the right to fight the legendary. You could have had one at the front of this cave, but no, there's none. So with a lack of trainers, you're just kind of gliding around this Fallout 76 style wasteland. As I say, there are Pokemon popping up every now and again, but they're not the main meat, are they, really? Because once you've caught them all, you're going to be like, well, there you go. And then this bit, this is the bit that I will put this in post-editing. This is where they had that screenshot of the trainer meeting the Dragonite, which, by the way, that's a load of bullshit. You don't get a Dragonite messaging you. It's just your own Pokemon, but, like, you can see, look how rough this fucking... This is where the graphics really, like, look how polygonal all that shit looked. And this brings up a bigger issue later on, and it was a big issue during the Isle of Armor, as there is one, so, like, there's no trainers, and we'll get to that one fetch quest in a minute, but there's no trainers, so obviously there's no one to challenge you. You could put a trainer up this road, you could have put a couple of trainers up these steps, but because there's no trainers to challenge you, you're just walking around, and they've gone for the Todd Howard approach, which you'll see later, where if you do have the online subscription, you know, because Nintendo wants you to pay $20 for their online, you will see other players in the world, and they've pulled kind of a Todd Howard, where it's like, well, we don't have NPCs in a literal sense, but every one of those NPCs, that's an actual player, and you can interact with them, and the players will give you the quests. So, you know, you could walk up to a player, and it doesn't work as well in this game, and you'll see why in a minute, but you could walk up to a player, and that player could say, hey, I'm looking for a Pikachu. Do you have a Pikachu? I will trade you whatever you want if you can find me a Pikachu. And it's like, okay, good idea, but no, because most people are antisocial twats. Even in 76, in that barren dead wasteland, any time I found a person was literally, we waved, we said hello, maybe if we were lucky, we might trade an item or two. Like, you know, they might say to me, hey, do you have some spare screws, or do you have some spare duct tape? You know, on a very, very rare occasion, because all of the actual materials in Fallout 76 are in a relatively decent abundance. The only one rather rare item is screws. So, you know, on a very, very, very rare occasion, there might have been someone saying, do you have a couple of spare screws? But beyond that, there was nothing. There was no one. It was just like, you might have saw someone in the wasteland, you waved hello to them, and then you carried on wondering where the fucking content of Fallout 76 was. The only time that I ever had fun with 76 is where I was wanted, you know, because one of the little achievements to get some atoms was become wanted, so I shot somebody. I became wanted, and I'll put this in the top right for anybody wanting to watch this, and I'll leave it running the entire review. But I became wanted, and somebody came to collect my bounty, and we had the best PvP fight you can ever imagine in that game. Like, we had a fight that lasted over an hour. Both of us were ducking, both of us were diving, we were both conserving ammo, we were using stim packs, and it was honourable as well. That's the best bit. Like, when he saw me, he shot me. Like, I didn't see him coming, you know, it was a sneak attack. He shot me, and I turned round, and, like, he looked at me and was like, you know, it's kind of like that unwritten or that unspoken moment. You could have put a trainer down there, by the way. You could have put one down there. But, like, he shot me from behind, and, like, I looked at him, and he's like, do you want to use a stim pack? Do you want to fully heal up before we begin this fight as a duel of honor? And it's like, yeah, okay. I understand what you're saying. Even though you didn't say it, I understand what you're saying. I used a stim pack. I walked behind the gas station. He walked to the other side of the gas station, and as you can see from the footage that is playing over the top, this fight lasted way over an hour, with both of us spending so much ammo and so many resources to make it happen. And he beat me, and I will you know, yield to that. He managed to finally, and you know, you'll see spoilers on how it ends, but you know, it finally came to the point where I was out of stim packs. I think he might have also only had like 1 or maybe 2 left. But he beat me. It was an honourable duel, and it was like, damn, that was actually really fun. And then, you know, we both went our separate ways, and that was it. We're back to, where's the actual content of the game? Where's the content of the game? And that gets to this part of Pokemon now, where, as you can see, there are people randomly going around, and it's like the Todd Howard problem of, hey, you can interact with these people will be the NPCs, well, let's interact with this blue one. And I think I'm just like, oh yeah, you could have put a trainer here and a trainer here, but ciao, I found something amazing just now. I think I'll give it to you. Obtained packet of potatoes. Oh, that is amazing. What about you? Afternoon. I found something amazing just now. I will give you a bag of pasta. And, you know, I think there's one more person. Yeah, John. Afternoon. I was walking along and I found a pearl, which is somewhat rare. I'll give it to them that the pearl was somewhat rare. But do you see the problem? You can't actually interact with people. Konnichiwa. You got a bag of mixed mushrooms. You can't actually interact. There's no, like, World of Warcraft online MOBA system. Like, there's no chat. Even if it was just as basic as Animal Crossing chat, where you could say, like, hello, mushrooms, or hello, Pikachu, and you could get a very basic communication system. It's not, because despite these people driving round, they're not biking round in real time. These are just, what's the word I'm looking for? These are just computers simulate. Oh, he just disappeared into a wall. But yeah, these are just computers simulating where the people actually are in their game. So like, if you want to say it's online, it kind of is, but it also isn't. Like, yes, at that point in time, at that exact point in time, John was at that same cliff that I was at in his game, but like No Man's Sky, I can't see him and he can't see me, but then the game might load me into his game, but that's not me actually in his game. It is just a computer simulation that might be like, oh, hello, John, I found a packet of rich tea biscuits. Here are some rich tea biscuits for you to use upon your adventure. But beyond these people, as you are seeing, and by the way, we went to the top, you saw the giant tree, now we're going to go all the way to the bottom. You'll see it's nothing. There are no NPCs, there are no quests, there are no trainers to battle you, there is no villages. As I say, that first village that we run across, where we will be getting the story missions from, that is the one and only singular village in the Crown Tundra. There is no other villages, like Fallout 76 or Breath of the Wild. Both of those games, it plays the same as Breath of the Wild or Fallout 76, where it's like, hey, well, you can see a settlement, you know, we just drove through it right here, but oh look, the walls are broken, the people are dead, there is no one to talk to, because they are no longer alive. I mean, I guess this is a kid's game, they just kind of moved away from the snow area, it was too cold for them, but basically the same rules apply, and it's like, okay, well, if there's no one to talk to, what is there to do? Well, what you've done in the Isle of Armor and the main game, the raids, but that in and of itself is a problem. I am online, as you've seen, and if it ain't a legendary raid, nobody's gonna join you. Nobody's gonna join you. Like, here is me, I have started the search. I am saying, okay people, here is a 5-star, which is good, by the way. That means it's guaranteed to have 5 IVs. That's a 5 IV Weavile right there. So we're guaranteed a 5 IV Pokemon. Who wants to come join me? Who wants to partake in this 5IV raid? And also, if you do it, you will get a bunch of XP candies and Dynamax candies and all the other rewards. Well, is it a Gigantamax Pokemon? No. Is it a legendary Pokemon? No. Yeah, I think I'll pass. But the whole point is that you are the NPCs. Didn't you hear what Todd Howard said? Todd said that every one of those NPCs is a real player. Did you not hear what Todd Howard said? Yeah, I did hear what he said, but also, like, that's fucking stupid. And as you can see, this timer's going to go down to 0. This timer is going to hit 0, and I'm going to get a bunch of bots. And the bots, they don't care about the bots. They never program the bots. So even though this is an ice-type Pokemon, you know, I don't know about you, but if you know your basic knowledge, even if you don't play the games and you know your basic knowledge, grass types are super weak to ice types, and grass types get obliterated. What will the computer bring in? The computer will bring in a grass type, and that grass type will get obliterated. So even the raid battles they're not balanced to single players, because they just give you a bunch of bots, but the bots literally do nothing. If anything, it's probably worse going in with a bunch of bots than it is to go in by yourself, because the bots are just so fucking brain dead, and that's been consistent across not only the main game but the DLCs. You would have thought they would have fixed it in the DLCs, but no dice. So we're 30 seconds away from doing this raid. You like the Polterkitty in the corner as well. I forgot to switch her off from the Luigi's Mansion Halloween playthroughs we've been doing, but you know, there she is. Just like, at least she's something nice to look at, as we will get into after this raid, and we get back to the overworld. We will get into the graphics. Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, because then we can actually look at them in all their stupendous glory. But yeah, so we didn't get it. So let's see what let's see what these NPCs, these fantastic NPCs, give us for a 5-star raid, which is one of the harder ones. So you know, we've got a fire type, which is good against ice. We got a Magikarp. So Magikarp's literally gonna contribute nothing, because the AI doesn't fucking use Hydro Pump, it just uses Splash. So the Magikarp's gonna contribute nothing. We got a Maractus, which is a grass type, so that's going to contribute nothing, because grass type moves aren't effective against ice, and it's going to die, which means it's going to knock down the life counter for us to all die. And then we've got a Salazzle, which is a fire type, so at least one of the AI tried. So yeah, let's see how this shakes out. I think we still win, but like, really? You can't even give me some decent AI that's like, maybe we shouldn't bring the weakness of the Pokemon that he needs to fight alone. So like, yeah, that's a fine move, Fire Lash. But then what are we going to do? Oh, it actually used Hydro Pump. I am amazed. Not that it would have done anything, because Magikarp doesn't have a strong attack. And there is the giant ice move coming down on the grass, and there's the grass getting fucking destroyed. Great AI. Fantastic AI. I'm a personal fucking fan. So, if you want to do any raid battles, if you at home wish to do any raid battles, then you better make sure that it's a Gigantamax, because everybody wants those, because they're the special ones, or you better make sure it's a legendary, because if it isn't a legendary or a Gigantamax, nobody's joining you. Nobody likes you. You ain't got the special one. And there is the Maractus dying, so the first of the death bells has rung true. So yeah, that's that. What else can we do while we're waiting for the graphics to come back? Music's alright, I guess. The one in the Crown Tundra's okay. It's nothing special. But yeah, it just comes back to the fact that, like, by this point, with all this DLC, you'd think they'd fixed it, but despite it being the second DLC, they've got even lazier than they did in the Isle of Armor. And, you know, the Isle of Armor was not the best. There was, like, only 2 or 3 trainers on the Isle of Armor, but there was still, like, dojo members at the very least walking round, but I guess NPCs are way too hard to, you know, copy and paste into the landscape. And there's Magikarp, absolutely fucking obliterated, because Magikarp doesn't do fucking anything, as much as I like the dude. And there is the second death bell ringing nice and strong. But yeah, I guess it's too hard to copy and paste the same generic NPC now, because we are playing Fallout 76. In terms of going back to like the story with its 1 hour of content, like again, if you are charging $30 for the, but I get that you get both, so you could say $15 each. But if you're charging $15 each for the DLCs, you could at the very least, you know, put some fucking villagers down with some side quests. But there's no side quests. They can't make one single village. I'm sorry, there's not a single village. You're talking about side quests, Spyro. There's not one single village to do said side quests. So yeah, but you know, you'd think that they might put in some effort, but no. It's at the point now where it is clear that anybody that used to work on the originals, like, you know, I'm not going to say Red and Blue, because that was made with fucking shoestring. Like, Red and Blue, we know Red and Blue was bad, but, like, it's clear that anybody that worked on, you know, Ruby and Sapphire and Diamond and Pearl are gone. Do you want the Battle Frontier, like that amazing post-game content? Do you remember the Battle Frontier, where after you beat the 8 gym leaders and the champion and you catch Rayquaza, you get to go to this whole new island that had like 9 extra gyms and like all these weird little challenges where you could only bring in certain Pokemon and all like that? Do you remember the Battle Frontier? Well, when that remake come along, well, you know, this image, we are working on the Battle Frontier, because, you know, the Battle Frontier, that's just too much effort to program the Battle Frontier again. So that's gone. Oh, did you like a team that actually had some sympathy in the form of, you know, Aqua and Magma, where it was like environmentalists, and it's like, well, you know, overpopulation means that we got no fish to eat, so we got to expand the ocean so we don't all starve to death. Yeah, but with overpopulation, that means that, you know, humans got nowhere to live. We need more land so that people can live. Like, oh, well, that's actually, you know, you could sympathize with these people. And then Team Galactic, oh, we wanna go to space and, like, make a new universe. Wacky Pants, yes. Well, I mean, I guess it's not that wacky pants if there is literally a Pokemon that can, like, alter time and space, so said Pokemon could also create a new time and a new space. But, like, hey, we want to make a new universe where, like, Team Galactic is in control, and, like, anybody that wants to be in Team Galactic universe, come with us. And, like, yeah. And it's like, okay, little bit wacky pants, but still, there was, you know, there are people, there are personalities. Commander Mars is a person which has personality. As we go around this fucking Breath of the Wild 76 dead world and we run into Sylveon, who is there? Where is Commander Mars? Where is pirate leader Archie? Where is... Hell, where's a grunt? I'd even go for a grunt. Where's a generic Team Rocket grunt? Where is anybody? There's nobody. And now that we're back in the overworld, you'd think, because, you know, the argument is, oh, well, cut all the content and it'll look pretty. You know, let's do the Anthem thing, where Anthem is also a barren, dead, empty fucking wasteland. But let's give Anthem some credit. Anthem looks fucking stunning. Like, you can't argue that Anthem looked really, really nice. And as did the Interceptor. You know, that was the Javelin that I played as. And, oh, that Interceptor, when you get the shiny green paint. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. So you'd think, okay, let's have an Anthem situation of it looks mega fucking nice, but there's nothing in it. But you don't get either. in the Crown Tundra. You get a little bit in the Isle of Armor, but you get nothing in the Crown Tundra. You get, it looks like shit, and there is also nothing to do. As you can see, we're still walking around trying to find a trainer, a village, a NPC, just one. I'll accept just one NPC, just somebody standing next to that temple saying, "This temple is the ancient temple of Reggie Rock, and I am the Reggie Rock priest." No. But we're still walking around looking for the content, and that brings us to the biggest issue, which I think comes up when we get into the snow area, which is, it looks like shit, and it has the fetch quest. So in both the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra, there is a fetch quest. That is the only quest in the DLC. These are the only two quests in either DLC, and it involves finding a whole bunch of shite. Doesn't that seem familiar, Breath of the Wild Koroks? That do nothing, Breath of the Wild Koroks. You found all 1,000 Koroks, you get a big, steamy, golden turd. Like, literally, that is the prize, a golden turd. And while the prize is not a golden turd, it is still very underwhelming, and the method of acquiring this, unlike Breath of the Wild, due to the graphics, makes it really, really fucking tedious and boring and shit. So in the Isle of Armor, you could have put an NPC at this temple as well, saying is the priest of Registeel. But in the Isle of Armor, you are tasked with finding 150 Digletts. And every 20 or so Digletts, you get an Alolan Pokemon. So, you get an Alolan Vulpix, Alolan Meowth, Alolan Sandshrew. And the final reward, your ultimate reward for getting all 150 Digletts is a Diglett. It is an Alolan Diglett. Your reward for finding the Digletts is a singular Diglett. Now, the Digletts have one very slight issue. The Digletts are very small, they're little brown things, and let's just pause the video here. So this is zoomed in, and do you see the problem with this fetch quest? So the Digletts were very small, the Digletts were tiny, and all you really saw was a little brown lump with a couple of tufts of hair sticking out the ground. And given that the graphics, as we can see from these fucking leaves, look like shit, trying to spot a low polygon Diglett in a low polygon area, it's not the easiest, but it was doable. It was a bit tedious, but it was doable. Here, we go to footprints, where, as you can see, they are blue footprints, mostly white footprints in a snowy area. Now, let's let this cutscene play out for a minute, and then let's stop right there. Whoa, back up. Where did we see them? So let's watch that cutscene right there. So this is basically what we're looking at. So when you need to find 100, when you need to find 100 low texture footprints in low texture snow, do you see the problem? Do you see the issue here? Now again, I did it, and there's actually 300 because the reward is the 3 Musketeers, and if you get each one of them, you can take them to an island where you get Keldeo, the My Little Pony Pokemon. But like, there's 300. There's 300. And that's your quest. That's your quest of the world. That is your one big major, aside from the story, which is to do with the reindeer, this is your one big quest. Find all the footprints of the 3 Musketeers so that you can hunt them down and use them to get Keldeo. But if my theory is correct, they could be lurking somewhere in these lands, and if we see these footprints, we shall acquire. And there you go. Now we're in game. You can really see how small they are. But we have found 2% of the Iron Will Pokemon's tracks. each one of those has to go to 100. No, 98 is not good enough. Even though Sonia could predict where it is with 98% accuracy, that is not good enough. It needs to be 100%, so you better go find all 100%. Fuck you, Sonia. I'm going to give you a personal fuck you, because the low poly, the low texture footprints in a low texture Fallout 76 barren wasteland is a pain in the arse to find. Don't look excited at me. Don't give me those excited eyes. Yeah, goodbye, Sonia. There you go. And that's your quest. That is literally your quest. So we have found one. We have found one single footprint, and now we go looking for all the others. There's actually none in this village, and here is the 4 NPCs of the village. You have Old Lady with Spiel, Mr. Gardener, and the 2 old ladies over there, and the mayor when the mayor finally spawns. But that's it. That is it. This is the only village, because all you're going to be doing is looking for the footprints. Do you see them? I'm going to miss one, by the way. Like, I don't find any in this, but I just saw one. Do you want me to rewind it? Do you want me to show you? Let's, stop! Wait, stop! It's right there. Do you see it glowing? Do you barely see it glowing? It's right there. And there's like loads of them round these ruined buildings. There's loads around this ruined buildings. There's about 20 of them. Maybe even 25 around these 2 ruined buildings. I just completely glossed over them. Didn't see them. Because again, look at the fucking textures of the grass. Look at how fucking foggy it is. Because for whatever reason, in this particular area of the Crown Tundra, it is foggy as balls. So not only do you have to find low texture footprints against low texture environments, you've also got to find low texture footprints in low texture environments with visibility reduced because of the fog. And again, you know, we'll just keep circling around, we'll keep looking for an NPC or a villager or, you know, the actual game, because we're playing, you know, fucking 7 Days to Die now in early access. Maybe you'll find a villager. Maybe you'll find like Joe's Traders, but I don't know. I don't know about that. So yeah, we'll go all the way to the bottom, because as I say, we went all the way to the top of the map. So maybe everybody, because it's too cold at the top of the map. You know, it's snowing. People get cold. You won't be able to get water up there. Water will freeze. So if nobody's at the top of the map, let's go to the bottom. Oh no, they're all dead. This is a graveyard. This is where everybody's buried. It is Breath of the Wild. Everybody is dead. There is no one to speak to. It is Fallout 76. This is a graveyard. Everybody is dead. They died of radiation poisoning. There is no one to speak to. But you got those footprints though. You could still go looking for them footprints. You could still go find all 300 of those footprints and find Keldeo. Now in early access. This is $30. And I guess you can make the argument, well, you know, Fallout 76 was $60, so it's half of Fallout 76. I guess you could make that argument, but this was $30. This wasteland of nothing. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. The floors have to be washed and sterilised. There's one. There's one. Back it up, Spyro, you blind bastard. Back it up. Can we just see that again? Just to point out how much they blend in. Get on your bike, dickhead. Let's go up here. Slow it down. There's one right there. There's one right there. Can you see this? Can you see this? Let's get a little bit closer. Boom. Look at them. Did you see him? Did you see him? Spyro didn't. Spyro fucking blinded them. This is where Virizion appears, by the way. Just like as a bit of information. There's another set right there, Spyro. You blind fuck. Let's Let's wind that back just a bit more. Just wanna point out how easy it is to miss them because, you know. But let's look at Spyro being blind again. Blind fuck. Not that you can blame him, but it's at the top of this hill. But, you know, there's two over there as well, just in case you missed those. But here we go. He's going up the hill. The past Spyro's going up the hill. Where's those Virizion footprints? I don't know. Right there. Right there, Spyro. Right in front of your face. Two little dots that look like the rest of the fucking ground. Two little dots. I mean, they are glowing a bit. I guess they're a little bit brighter. They're a tiny, minusculely little bit brighter than the ground. But that's the footprints. That's what you're looking for. And I blinded that because it's like, I wonder where these footprints are. Surely, because everything looks like it's on the fucking Game Boy, we'll be able... And I know that's an unfair comparison. Let's be fair, it is just an upscaled 3DS game. It just looks like it's on the 3DS. But, you know, considering everything has a 3DS texture, they would definitely make them glow. They would definitely make them stick out. No, they just look like another piece of dirt. Like, okay, this little bit of dirt is a bit brighter, but, you know, this bit of dirt over here is also bright. So there you go. But there you go, Spyro. You just missed a set right there. You blind bastard. There's another set over there, Spyro. Did you see him? Did you see him? No, you didn't see those ones. Didn't miss those ones over there. Still looking for the content. So, yeah, this is it. I don't even think I'm going to... You know, my plan was to just kind of show off this first hour of gameplay. Where it's like, okay, you know, I'm going round. Here's where a village could be. You know, there's some crops. There's some buildings. But remember, everybody died. Everybody's dead. It's too hard to program NPCs. NPCs are very, very hard things to program. Hell, you know, it's not like their main NPCs where you've got to put some effort in to, like, make their faces new. You could have put some copy and paste ones in. You could have just put some copy and paste ones in, and you didn't. You didn't. So we're still looking for the content, and I think that's kind of moving on to the final verdict at this point, because it's like my original plan was to go through the full hour. I think I actually go and show off what the gimmick is. Like, this is what you paid for. So am I moving? Yes. So I'm moving to, like, where the supposed content of the game is, which in of itself was fucked up. But yeah, my plan was to kind of like show off the first hour as then just speak over it. But even me, when I was at the stage of recording this, didn't realise just how bare, how devoid of content the Crown Tundra actually was. Like, I was like, oh yeah, you know, there might be an empty area, then we'll get to a village, you know, that we might find an NPC. You know, I guess I was expecting bare minimum quality, like the Isle of Armor, because again, at least bare minimum, at the very least, the Isle of Armor had a couple of, like, dojo students walking around the island. At the very least, it had that photography girl where if you paid her some money, she'd be like, here's a Pokemon that you haven't seen yet, so that you can go catch it in your Pokedex. You know, there was still NPCs in the Isle of Armor, so, you know, I was at the very least expecting the minimum quality of the Isle of Armor, but no, there is nobody out in that frozen wasteland. Just Sonic the Hedgehog here being way too overexcited. But he's overexcited because this is what you paid for. This is what the entire thing has built up to, which is the legendary battle. So in the cave that we are about to enter will be the gimmick of the DLC, which is the raid adventure. So rather than the Weavile that you saw earlier, you will not be fighting one Pokemon that has a shield. None of the Pokemon will have shields, but you will have to fight 4 in a row, and you have to have all 4 defeated within the 4 lives of the team that you will enlist online. Now, the problem with the raid adventure is there is always a legendary Pokemon at the end. And the legendary Pokemon, obviously, they're very strong. They will be prepared to pace your ass up and down the corridor. So you would think that you would be allowed to bring in your best Pokemon. You know, the Pokemon that you've trained, the Pokemon that you've got EVs and IVs in order to combat these legendaries. However, this is not the case. It is much like Pokemon Stadium on the N64, where you have to rent Pokemon from this lady, and you and your team get a random selection every time that you have to pick from, and you have to fight through the adventure with the random set of Pokemon given to you. And sometimes it can be fine. Sometimes you will have a set that gives you what you need. Other times you will just be completely outclassed, and there's no way to fix that. You know, you could, let's just say it was a fire type, and you're like, okay, it's a fire type legendary. You know, it's Ho-Ho. It's the legendary bird Ho-Ho. So it's like, alright, it's a fire type legendary. We need all water Pokemon on our team. We need all things that can fight Ho-Ho. And then you don't get it. You know, you'll be given 4 grass Pokemon, which will get blitzed by Ho-Ho. And then the pathways chosen will just be like grass, insect, ice, because fire's weak, or ice is weak to fire. You'll be given shit that just will not stack up to Ho-Ho by the end. So it seems like that was done purely for the sake of padding. In terms of the legendaries themselves, this content is also Fire Knight, as when you capture the legendary, the one that you will see by the end of this is Suicune. When you capture that legendary, it is removed from the pool. So after you have captured all 30 legendaries, that's it. That's it. You're done. You cannot come in here. I think you can still come in, but you will not be able to capture anything because you've already caught the legendaries. You're already done. And I was left with 3 normals, so fuck me, I guess. So I just went with Dunsparce because, you know, I like Dunsparce. Like, I don't like the bear, so I'm like, okay, I'll just go with Dunsparce because, you know, Dunsparce. Dunsparce has been so mistreated. He should get an evolution. He should at least get a Gigantamax form where he turn, you know, like, his little wings turn into, like, big feathery wings. He becomes, like, a giant serpent-like dragon. Dunsparce should get some love. Everybody hates Dunsparce. Pokemon hates Dunsparce. But yeah, so this is it. And by the way, you don't get, most of the time you won't get to choose which way you're going. You know, you'll think, hey, it'd be smart if we went one way, but then your other 3 team members are going to be like, no, let's go this way. But we're weak to that Pokemon. Yeah, but I want it for my Pokedex. But we're weak to that Pokemon, and we need the legendary at the end. I don't know about that. I'm going to go this way. So most of the time, even if you want to go the optimal way, people don't want to go the optimal way, so there you go. But yeah, so that's basically it. Like, I think I end the video. Yeah, there's 20 minutes left, Jesus Christ. But I end the video after we capture Suicune, so, like, I'll just do my wrap-up, and, you know, I'll give a final verdict of this shit right now. And then, like, I'll just spin it on to the end, where I show us fighting Suicune and capturing Suicune, because that's really all you need to see. But yeah, so like, final verdict for the DLC is, I'm not going to be as harsh because the Isle of Armor was there. If I was doing the Crown Tundra alone, just the Crown Tundra, but I'm not, I'm doing both DLCs because I never did the Isle of Armor, so there was stuff in the Isle of Armor. If I was doing the Crown Tundra alone, as the barren empty void it is, with nothing but the footprints and this, which again is Fire Knight, because once all the legendaries are gone, they're gone. If it was Crown Tundra alone, it'd be a 1 out of 5. It is actually it's kind of fucking scummy, real fucking scummy, that you would charge $15 for this, or $30 for this. But again, like, $15 comes from the Crown Tundra, the Isle of Armor, which slightly makes up for it. So we take that 1 into a 2 out of 5. You know, again, it's with, and again, I have to stress this only because I'm doing both together. With the Isle of Armor, it meets the absolute bare minimum requirements for what could be classed as DLC, and even then, that kind of just basically is completing the game. You know, it's finishing what was missing from the base game, so in reality it's $90 for the base game, making it the most expensive Pokemon game. But, you know, that's semantics, and we could play those semantics saying, well, no, because the base game was finished, the base game was sold to you for $60, and that was the finished product. But, you know, if that is the finished product for $60, then they should have just still left it at the price of a DS game of $45, because there was no way in hell the base game was $60. But, yeah, only with the Isle of Armor does it make it a 2 out of 5. It meets the bare minimum requirements, but it just shows that at this point, like, anybody that was working on the good shit, like, anybody that worked on Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, anybody that worked on them and was like, hey, do you want this amazing post-game content of the Battle Frontier? Do you want this amazing post-game content of Giratina's inverted, distorted dimension, where you're walking on the walls and you're walking on the ceilings and all the waterfalls are flowing upwards instead of downwards? You don't get that. You get a Fallout 76 sandbox with nothing in it. So it's like, it's clear at this point that all of the people that worked on Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, they're gone. They've left. There's none of them around anymore, and all we've got left are the ones that are there purely to continue to milk what is left of the franchise. And at this point, you know, especially with the fact that Survivor is still locked to home, like, I am done with Pokemon. I am done. This is my cut-off point. You know, maybe I'll say this. I won't rule it out, because it was one of my favourites in the series, and I do like the story, because again, they had decent story writers back then. If you give me a Diamond and Pearl remake, you know, if I could, like, see Team Galactic, especially Commander Mars in HD, if I could get a Diamond and Pearl remake, I'd buy the Diamond and Pearl remake, but simply just because it's Diamond and Pearl, and Diamond and Pearl was already good, so you can't really fuck that up. But it's like, Gen 9 though, like, when we get to, you know, Pokemon Gun, or, well, no, because that'd just be like the DLC for this one. When we get to, like, Pokemon Coffee and Pokemon Tea, no, Gen 9, no, I'm out, because, like, it's clear that you don't give a shit anymore. There is no effort, especially with the Crown Tundra, where there's just no NPCs whatsoever. Like, there's no effort anymore. It's just, hey, we're here to milk it now. We're here to just, like, soak all the money. So it's like, you know, if there's a Diamond and Pearl remake, sure, but, like, beyond that, I'm out. I'm done. You know, I'll buy the spin-offs. I am excited for Snap 2. Like, I liked Snap, and I'm excited for Snap 2. But, like, main series games, nah, no fucking point. No fucking point anymore. We can see where this road is heading. You know, I have sung this song, I have danced this dance 1,000 times. And like Skyrim or Fallout, it's like, hey, did you know that Oblivion and New Vegas were fantastic? Like Ruby and Sapphire? Yeah. Hey, did you know that Fallout 4 and Skyrim were not as good as New Vegas and Oblivion, but were still decent, like Diamond and Pearl? Yeah. Well, now you've got Elder Scrolls Blades and Fallout 76, where all that goodwill is spent and we're left with this. So, like, yeah, that's it for me. It's 2 out of 5. if there's a Diamond and Pearl remake, maybe, but this is where, at least generation-wise, at least in terms of generations, Gen 8 is where I draw the line. Gen 8 is where I say, thank you, but no thank you. You know, I appreciate your offer, but no thank you. Good day to you, sir. I am going to show myself to the door. Again, I will stand outside your door if you choose to reopen that door and say, we got Diamond and Pearl and Pokemon Snap 2. You know, I will come back into your office. But in terms of generations, no thank you. I am showing myself to the door. Thank you very much. I will not be partaking in Generation 9. With the whole, you know, Dexit situation, with bring back the national Dex, Pokemon being locked behind Pokemon Home until you pay the ransom money, the low quality modders like Distant Kingdom fixing the Isle of Armor thing where the Pokemon follow you because they don't follow you correctly, and he found the bug in the code like Aliens Colonial Marines where you just have to change one number and oh, they follow you fine, or fixing the scaling which you've been seeing on your screen. You know, there's been so much controversy, so much bullshit, so much backlash back and forth that I'm done, especially because of the fandom. Especially because of the fandom. From what happened last night, where the fandom, because of all this controversy, has become the most toxic shit in the world. It's like, I was obviously not a fan of this, but these legendary raids, you know, everybody wants to do them, and I said to one person in particular, it's like, look, I don't care about the quality. If the quality's shit, whatever. Me and you, because they think it's fine. And it's like, me and you can have different opinions. If you think it's fine, it's fine. If I think it's shit, it's shit. That's inconsequential. Let's not worry about that. You know, let's put opinions aside and let's just go capture the legendaries. Let's all just have a fun time capturing the legendaries together. And they were like, yeah, okay, I can see that. You know, whatever. Opinions aside, I'll come on in like an hour after dinner and I'll come catch the legendaries with you. So, you know, I'm getting a team together. I've got myself, I've got Kamori, and it's like, okay, we're just waiting on 2 other people. And it's like, it's been 2 hours. It's been 3 hours. And it's like, okay, it's been 3 hours. Let's, you know, I've give you more than enough time to eat your dinner. So it's like, hey, where are you? We're going to do these. And they're like, no, you know, because I think that when we get in here, you're going to be negative about the raids. And it's like, no, we have Kamori here. We have other Pokemon fans here that also disagree with my opinions, but we're all here to capture the legendaries. We have people here, nah, and it's like, you are such an ungrateful piece of shit. Like, Pokemon fans are the most petulant, the Pokemon fan base. And I'm not talking to all of you, because I know there'll be people watching this. There'll be people watching this like Kai, which I played with yesterday. I played with Kai. There'll be people like Kai being like, well, I'm part of the Pokemon fan base and I'm not petty. But it's like, okay, that's one person. But I'm talking about this individual in particular, where we put our differences aside to do the legendary raids, and then they brought those differences back just so that they wouldn't do the legendary raids with the team. It's like, you are the most pettiest player on this game. You are fucking petty. You are so fucking petty. You'll go to bat. You'll go to bat for the Ocarina of Time trees. Anything that I criticise, anything that I say that is actually genuinely a production error, like those Ocarina of Time trees, you'll say, no, they're fine. You will argue with me over the Ocarina of Time trees. But then, when it comes to, like, no arguments, be friends, just because I said the Ocarina of Time trees look like they're from Ocarina of Time, you don't want to play. You are a fucking petty child. You are also fucking petty. But yeah, but, like, and again, that's not everybody. That's not everybody. But after all this controversy, after bring back the national Dex, how it still looks like a 3DS game, after so much controversy, after the fact that the Crown Tundra is a barren empty wasteland, and all this culminating in fans and critics just absolutely ripping each other apart. It's too toxic. It's too toxic at this point, so I will show myself out. So, you know, if you're still a Pokemon fan, and you're like, no, I think the graphics look fine, I think it's fine that the Crown Tundra is a barren, empty wasteland, okay, that's your opinion. That's fine. And me and you, at the end of the day, could sit down and capture Suicune together, regardless of our opinion. But that's not how it works. And there is always going to be back and forth backlash because it's got to this point. It should have never, especially with the national decks, it should have never got to this point. It should have never got to this point. But Game Freak let it happen. Or if it's not Game Freak, because they're just the programmers, the main company behind it, the Pokemon company, it should have never got to this point. But you let it get to this point. And now, like, anytime Sword and Shield is brung up, it is not brung up as Mario Odyssey. Oh, this big groundbreaking next generation game for the Switch. It is not brung up as Breath of the Wild, this next gen groundbreaking bad game for the Switch. It is brung up as, oh, it's that Pokemon game that is kind of bad and everybody always bites each other's head off for. So, like, yeah. So, that's it. I kind of stalled a bit because we are on the Suicune fight. I just wanted to show you how the Suicune fight ended, and I would be on my way. What's his health at? Can I see the health of Suicune, please? The Suicune's doing his thing, but I kind of stalled a bit just to show the legendary fight so that you can see it. But once the Suicune fight is over, I'll be on my way. But the main point, Crown Tundra is a barren, dead, empty wasteland like Fallout 76 or Breath of the Wild. It's bad. Isle of Armor. It's got a few NPCs. It's got a longer story. It meets the minimum standard. It's 2 out of 5. And after this point, yes, a Diamond and Pearl remake or Pokemon Snap, I'll be fine. But anything of the next gen, Generation 9, I am washing my hands of it and I will go away. So there you go. I will just spin on, just you know, it's just moves against Suicune. So, you know, he's nearly dead yet, just so you can see how it ends. So, you know, you'll beat up Suicune. He's on red right now, and this shall be the end. So once Suicune has died, we will see the capture, and that's what a legendary adventure entails. So we obviously had a grass. We did get lucky this time. The odds were not stacked against us. We had a grass Pokemon which was doing a lot of damage. I believe that the Dreadnought has an ice, not an ice attack. No, sorry, the Dusclops has a fire attack like Whisper will to inflict like burning damage. So like we did get very lucky with the random Pokemon that was given to us. So we do beat Suicune. But yeah, that's it. You dead, Suicune? Are you dead on this wave? Because I'm out now. Suicune avoided the attack. Yeah, just finish it off. Okay, didn't finish it off. Shadow Ball finishes it, I think. No, it's got another round in it. Okay, well, let's just keep going. There you go. He's nearly dead. And there you go. He's on 1 HP. So we shoot. Who shoot? Who shoot? Who? I don't remember. Who deals the killing blow? Is it Dunsparce? Or was it... I think it's Dusclops, because Dusclops goes first. But who makes the killing blow? Suicune hits me. Suicune hits the Blossom. And the killing blow was delivered by... Dusclops. Yep, there you go. Boom. He dead. He dead. The legendary, however, thank fucking God, is always a 100% catch rate. If you do manage to beat the odds, you do get that 100% catch rate. So yeah, but then you do this, and that's it. That's the Pokemon DLC. It's bare bones. It meets, at least in terms of Isle of Armor, it meets minimum standards. But Crown Tundra, it's barren. It's bare bones. And you know that's it. So yeah, is that the third shake? Are we done? Yep, there you go. You got him. You got the Suicune. And then at the end, by the way, you only get to pick one Pokemon. So if you captured all of the Pokemon up until that point, you have to pick one. And why would you not pick the Legendary? Of course you're going to pick the Legendary, but yeah, that's how it ends. You pick the one that you wanted, and we got Suicune. And you return the rented Pokemon to the scientist. And then you get a bunch of Dynite ore. I think you can buy prizes with that, but I haven't seen what you buy with that, so there you go. But yeah, so that's it. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video, which is probably going to be Luigi's Mansion, because it's getting close to the end of Halloween, and I got to finish that off. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. But that's the review of Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra. So bye for now. And thank you to the Patreons of Dark Blue Fire and Deddy that I'll put on the screen right now. Thank you both. I really do appreciate the support, as well as the support of the viewers. And there's all the links down below. But this has been going on for an hour, so I'm going to let you all go, and I'll see all of you next time. Bye bye.